Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you how I made this card with my Cricut, which has got writing inside, a little message that's going to go into this gift parcel. It's very easy, so just keep on following for more. Okay, so hello, I'm going to show you how we access the writing fonts with the Cricut and how we can write. So you click on text. From here, you double click on your text box and you write in the text that you want. So this was a gift for my wife Anisha. So you've got your text. Now you need to change this to writing. So click off on your canvas, click back onto your text. Here you can see this is what not to do, okay, because you're not going to get the right writing font. So here you would see it says writing. So if you were to click on that, the writing you will get in some fonts will be bubble writing. For now, it's not bubble writing, so you can go ahead and use that. But the way to find your writing font is go to fonts on here, and then you can select off only current fonts and go to filters. So under filters here, you've got my fonts, there are layered fonts, single layer fonts, writing, and your downloaded fonts. If you have downloaded the writing font, you can select downloaded, but we're going to check the writing fonts that are on our Cricut subscription. So I click writing, and then I click back on filters. And these are all my fonts that are available as writing fonts. So you can have a scroll through them and see which ones you like. I'm just going to pick a few, but I'm not going to go for them, just to show you what they look like. So here you can see on this side, it says single layer cutting writing. If it says writing, it means it is a writing font. So you can get single layer ones like this. If I click it, it will load and show you what that font will look like as a writing font. You can see this is very thin. If you don't want it as a writing font, you can just click here and take it back to regular. Some fonts you do pick that are quite bulky, so like this one. Let me just show you what it looks like once it loads. The bulky fonts, they will do like a bubble writing kind of font that looks like this, but it's very nice if that's the kind of style you are going for. But I want a curvative font, so I'm going to go back onto my fonts and look for a nice curvative font that I can do. If you have Cricut Access, the ones with the A, they are included in your subscription. If you don't have Cricut Access but want to use the writing font, they usually may come out as bubble writing. But I will be doing another video on how to get writing fonts for free without using Cricut Access. And make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification, because that will be the next video, how to get writing fonts without using Cricut Access for absolutely free. Okay, no, that's not the one I wanted to go for. The one I usually go for, there's one I like called Hathaway. If you know the name of the font, you can just type it into the search engine here. Off of the name here, you can see Hathaway. So I'm going to select it. My computer is quite slow, and there we go. But when you look at the font, you can see it's very a lot of spaces in there. So you do have to adjust your font to make it look perfect. So firstly, your letter space. If you want the words slightly closer together, you can decrease your letter space. As I decrease this, you can see the words are kind of shifting closer together. And then also the line space. So this is the difference between the two different words, sentences. So you can decrease your line space by just clicking on the down, and you can see the words are getting closer together. Now my alignment. I always like to have my alignment in the center. I just think it looks a lot better than having it to the side. But if you want it to the side, you could do it however you want. So now I've got my text. I'm going to make it a bit smaller by clicking on this arrow here. I'm going to show you how I put it onto the card. So I get my shapes. I'm going to do it as a heart card as I showed you. And I'm going to select my heart. If you want to do a star, if you want to do a diamond, a triangle, whatever shape you want to do, you can do. I do prefer this heart as well. You can see there are two different hearts. This heart at the top is free with the Cricut subscription. This heart down below is included in your Cricut subscription. It just has a nicer shape to it to me. So there's my heart. And what I need to do is make it the size I want. So I'm going to do 8 centimeters by about 7. I'm going to right click and then duplicate because I want 2 of these hearts so I can make a fold in my card. I'm going to just bring these 2 down. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a rectangle shape as well. So I'm going to go back to shapes, and you can pick square or rectangle because you're going to change the shape of it. So I'm going to pick this square here. And I'm going to press the padlock key so I can adjust the dimensions. And I want to actually make it into a little rectangle, just like this. So once I've got my 2 hearts, I'm going to highlight 2 of the hearts because I want them to be aligned. You can see this one here slightly up, this one slightly down. There's no point wasting time trying to move them to be exactly aligned. Cricut's got a feature here, align. So I'm going to click align and then align bottom, and you will see that the second heart will move down. So now I know they're aligned. The second heart has moved down. And I want to get my rectangle to join these 2 hearts together. So I want my rectangle to be roughly around here, because this is what I'm going to use to fold my card in half. So now you can see everything is free. They're not all joined together. And you can see that by looking at your layers here. So it says I've got a basic cut, a square, a heart, and a heart. But I want them to be all together to make my card. So I'll select everything and then click on weld. And what will happen is all these 3 shapes will join together. So now you can see weld result, I've got the shape as one. And that's basically how you make your heart. Now to get your text to write exactly on this part of your card, what you need to do is you get your text. Here you can see my text is going to the back, but I want it to be in front on top of my card. So I will right click and say bring to front. So there you go. My words are on top of my heart now. I'm just going to resize it so it fits in perfectly. And when you do it, make sure you put it on this side of your card, because this is going to be the front when you fold your card. This is going to be the back. And usually when you're writing the card, you write on the inner side, inner right hand side of your card. So just position it exactly where you want it. And then you select all. And now this is crucial. If you want your Cricut to write exactly in this space of your card, you hit attach. So now what you'll see is whenever I move my card, my text moves with me. That's what you want. And that's when you know it's attached. The Cricut pen will write exactly as it is shown here. If you don't select attach, your text will not be on your card and it will just write randomly wherever it decides to write. So before you finish, you check your dimensions. So now if you want, you can change your dimensions with your text on there. So I want my card to be about this size. And then you go to make it. Once you're here on make it, you can see you've got to your cut out shape. It says you need your pen and it's going to have a basic cut. Because I'm going to be cutting this on card, majority of card that I use is A4 card. So what you need to do here under material size, so my material, I'm using A4 card. I just select A4, and what you see now, the Cricut has turned my image around, because before it was horizontal and the A4 card, it wouldn't have fit. So now that I've told the Cricut I'm using A4 card, it has made it the correct size for me to use my A4 card. Once I'm happy with where my card will be placed, so exactly where my card is placed on this mat, this is an imitation of the mat I'm going to be using, a digital image. I'm going to place my card exactly in this place where Cricut is suggesting, and then I go to continue. Cricut will find your machine, so you can connect your machine via Bluetooth, or if you have a USB, you can plug it in. I'm using my USB at the moment, and it says set base material. So because I know I'm cutting card, what I usually do is on my Cricut dial, I set it to poster board, because I've noticed the poster board setting does cut a lot better compared to card. Sometimes when you use cardstock setting, you have to run it through twice. If you are on a Cricut Maker, I'll just show you how to do it if you're on a Cricut Maker, because you won't have a dial like the Cricut Explorer. You'll go to Browse All Materials, and here you will type in poster board. It's not going to come up for me because my one is set on my dial. You'll type in poster board, and you'll get an option here that will say poster board, and you'll just select that to use it. If you have a Cricut Explorer, any of the Cricut Explorer families, you just turn the dial on your Cricut machine and set it to regular poster board. So here you can see it's set to poster board. So it says load tools and materials into your machine. So I'm going to change my screen around so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you're going to have to load your pen, whichever pen you are using. I'm going to post a video about all the different pens that can be used in Cricut Explorers and Cricut Makers, because it's not only the Cricut pens you can use, there are other different pens you can use. Make sure your blade is in, which usually is always in. And then you're going to load your mat and press the go button. So here's my Cricut machine. I'm going to be using some of this silver card, which I've got from B&M. It's about 15 sheets for about £2, but you can use any card you want. You can see my Cricut pen is in here. So it's a good tip, always keep your pens facing downwards. This way the ink will always flow and they won't dry out so quickly. So I'm just taking my lid off my pen and I'm going to put into the first clamp A. So when you pull it in, you do have to kind of push it in to make sure it's secure. And you can see now I'm lifting it up and it's not coming out. So that means it is in securely. So I'm lifting it, it's not coming out. Only if I apply a bit of force, it will come out. Then you close your clamp. So your pen's ready. And I've loaded my card onto my paper. I've loaded my card onto my mat. See, I'm using the Cricut mat. I really like these ones. Everything I'm listing is going to be in my description if you're interested in purchasing them under my Amazon Best Buys. I do prefer the Cricut brand. I've been using it ever since I've got my Cricut. They are a lot stickier and they last a lot longer to me. So you'll load it into your machine just like this. And then you press the flashing arrow button. So your Cricut will take it up. And then you'll press the Cricut button, which is flashing as well. And then what your Cricut will be doing, it will start writing. So it's writing first. You can see it's writing out the text for me. And then what the Cricut will do now, it's going to start cutting out the shape for us. So once that's done, I can unload my mat and you can see the writing. I'm going to take this off and show you what it looks like afterwards. So there you can see it's come off very easily. That's why I like to use the poster board setting compared to, even though it's card, I don't use cardstock because cardstock doesn't give me this really precise cut because I use quite thick card. So now you can see the writing is on this side and this part is blank. So what I do, I just fold it in half like this. Try to make sure it's aligned. And there we go, beautiful. I might stick my logo sticker on the front, and when I put this into the gift, you know, they open it up and they've got a lovely message inside. You know, it doesn't take long to make at all, especially if you're making a few of them, but it's just a nice little gesture, which is just so beautiful, like the shape of the heart. I'm going to show you again what it looks like in the gift box for someone. So hopefully this has helped you. If you have any questions in regards to this, please write it in the comments, because I will always answer my questions. And also follow me on socials. I will link all my socials, because I give plenty of tips, tricks, tutorials on my story in my socials as well.